Hello and welcome to this Android tutorial. In this video we're going to be going over how to edit, create, and publish a Android application using the supplied template. So for step number one is we're going to want to create a Firebase project and app. So we'll open up Firebase, make sure we're in the Leverage Mobile 360 one. And the next thing we're going to want to do is come into where it says the applications, and we're actually going to want to be adding a new app, and this is going to be for the Android Shop Hair Queen application. And to add a brand new application, what we'll want to do is click on this plus icon, and it'll tell us either iOS or Android, or we can even do web, but for this example we're sticking to the Android version. So it's going to tell us to register the application, so we're going to do com dot, and this was for Shop Hair Queen, and then we'll do dot lm360. Give this name an app, so this is the Android Shop Hair Queen, and this is optional, so we're going to leave this out. Click on register app, and we'll want to go ahead and download the Google Services.json file. Click on next, and you can go ahead and you don't have to worry about this, it's already been taken care of. Click on next, and here I'll wait till it's actually been verified that it can view the Google Services JSON. So we're ready to move on to step 2, where we can actually close out or skip this step. And within step 2 we're actually going to come in here to the Android app. So we can go to settings, and from the settings we'll click on cloud messaging, because we're going to need one of these API keys and the sending ID for within OneSignal, which is for step number 2, when we're going to be since we're not adding a brand new app. So depending upon if you have a brand new app that you need to add, or if you need to add an Android version to an existing application, it may depend upon what you do in this step. But if you already have one installed, like you already have an iOS one, then you can just simply add the Android. That way you don't have a whole spew of different applications here. So the one I'm looking for is Shop Hair Queen, which is right here. And we do have an iOS one, so we're going to come into the settings section, and we're going to add the Google Android. So you click on edit. It's going to ask you for the Firebase server key and the Firebase sender ID. So the sender ID is right here. We can paste in the sender ID, and we're going to get the server key. So we have the server key here. It's nicely labeled, and we can go ahead and paste in the server key. Simply save it, and there we can see that it is currently active. So make sure that you go to keys and IDs, and we're going to keep this key handy for the following steps as they are to follow. So next, now that we have created our Google project, our OneSignal app, we're going to want to open up Android Studio and start creating the application itself. So within the supplied templates here, you can either copy an existing one that you've been working on, or that you want to create a similar look and feel for the application. You can just copy it and then rename it, so that way you have both of these folders still available, or you can simply extract the file within the supplied template too. So we'll just go ahead and extract it. Okay, so it has been extracted. We can go ahead and refresh it as well, and we see Android app template and then protalis.com. So this one is actually, we're going to be changing this to www.shophairqueen.com. So we can rename that, and that should be good to go now for when we open up our Android Studio. Okay, so we have Android Studio loaded up here. We're going to want to open up an existing Android Studio project, and we'll be able to select one from, where do I have them? I have them within my C drive. Let's see, so applications, we have Android app template, and then this one here that we just named, Shop Hair Queen. So we'll select on OK. You can see it building the shophairqueen.com Gradle project info. Alright, so we can see it loading up here. We can go ahead and close out of the tip of the day and wait for it to finish its total completion. If you get this notification, just go ahead and click on Don't Remind Me for this project. You can see the Gradle build is still running. Let's go ahead and wait for it to finish. Alright, so it has completed. So it's important that you utilize the Android view from the drop down here. Don't do something like project or packages because it might get a little confusing and you probably don't know what you'll be looking at. So the best thing to do is Android, and this will give you a clear view of the different files that we'll be working in. So right off the bat, being that we have created these things, I'm going to go ahead and insert the OneSignal app ID and also make some different changes and adjustments within the app, as I find them pretty easy to do this at this point. So within the Gradle scripts, we're going to open up the build.gradle, and this is for the module app. So we can see here the Android Compile SDK, build tools. This stuff you don't really have to change at all. Minimum SDK version, target SDK version, version code. So with these two, you don't really need to change those ones. But if you are making updates to an application, then you will need to revise these ones. So for example, being that this is version 1 and this is version name 1.1, or we can even do 1.0, this is what you would change for that. So if I wanted to update the application, I would simply increase these version codes by another integer. So if it's 4, for example, the version code is 4, then there needs to be version code 5, and if it's 5, it needs to be 6, so on and so forth. But for this example, this is the first time that we're making this demo app, so this is the version 1 for this application. We're also going to want to change our app ID to the app ID that we created within the Google Firebase. So this was com.shophairqueen.lm360.com, and right here where it says OneSignal app ID, this is where we'll put in that OneSignal app ID. So we'll go ahead and paste it in there. We could verify 9797, 9A, 9A, so the beginning and the ends are correct. Here's the project number. So this is the sender ID, so from Firebase within this cloud messaging tab, the sender ID is the project number. So we'll copy that and we'll paste it in here. We could see we have the same project number there. And the rest of this, you could leave that be as is. And you'll want to next, before we click on sync now, because it is important that we do sync this, there are some things that we do need to quickly change, which will be by clicking this drop down, and then within the Java, we're going to select the main one here, so not where it says Android test or test, but actually one where it has no parentheses there. We'll select this little settings icon and we'll uncheck where it says hide empty packages. So we'll actually remove this. So we have a layout here where it expands it. And the thing that we're going to actually rename really fast is Protalis, so that way it says Shop Hair Queen, and we're matching the application ID here. So we'll simply right click it, and then we'll come in to where it says Refactor and Rename. So we'll rename it, and we're going to get this notification. Select on Rename Package. We're going to be entering in the package name, which is Shop Hair Queen. And go ahead and select on Refactor, just like this. It'll search, and then it'll replace. You'll get a pop-up saying if you want to complete this refactor, and you'll get this notification here, so you'll select on Do Refactor, and now it's going to be renaming the packages that it found, and we can come back in here and put this back to where it's actually compact empty packages, and we can start to sync this now. So we can see no matching client package found for shophairqueen.com. This is for within that section of Google Firebase where we need to actually add what we downloaded. So let's come back in here to our application template, which is shophairqueen.com, and where it says right in here, should be somewhere. Here we go. So this Google Services JSON file. So you'll want to go from the actual app, so from www.shophairqueen.com or whichever one you've renamed it to be working on. You'll click in there, click on app, and then you'll want to delete this file here. So simply delete it. And since it's already open in another program, which is this one here, we'll need to close out of this and exit. So we can go ahead and exit that, and then delete this. So now it's been deleted. And the one that here, see how we downloaded it, we'll go ahead and click and drag and drop it in here. Click in it to rename, and let's remove these parentheses with the 3, so that way it says Google Services.json. And we'll go ahead and minimize this again. Open up Android Studio. And let's continue further. We'll go ahead and sync the project. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this again. And what we'll do is come in here to run, and first let's clean the project. I'm sorry, build. So from build, clean, and then we'll do build and rebuild. So we can see Gradle build running right now. Okay, so we cleaned it. So let's go to build and rebuild. Awesome. So we rebuilt the project. There's been no errors. So we have solved the very first issue that we had with the build error and the Google services JSON. So now the next step that we're going to be doing is replacing the icons and including the splash screen. So to do this, we can go ahead and just simply, we can minimize this for now, but realistically we should probably just close it because we're going to be replacing some files within this area here. So coming back to shophairqueen.com, we're going to be going to app source, and this will be in the main, and we're going to be replacing some of these res. And these res, we have drawables, and if you guys remember in the iOS example, we have already created these app icons from the images here using appicon.build, and we got them both for iOS and Android. Not sure why this image is taking so long to load. There we go. So yeah, we already got these icons and then made them into a bunch of other icons. So we can just simply extract it to the desktop for the app icon, and this one here is going to be for Android, and we can see the Play Store icon, so that's going to come in handy in a little bit. So for this moment right here, we're going to want to select and copy these different minimap ones here. So we'll just go ahead and select and drag those in there, replace the files in the destination, and just like that, we updated the icons. So all of these icons have now been updated for the mobile app. Super easy to do that. And now the next step we're going to want to do is actually start changing these splash screens on the different ones here for drawable HDPI, drawable LDPI, and so on and so forth for these ones. So let's go ahead and do that with Photoshop. Alright, so once you have Photoshop open, you'll want to go ahead and once you have Photoshop open and you have your picture folder here, come to the highest quality one, which is going to be drawable XXX HDPI. So you'll open up this folder, simply click and drop it into Photoshop. That way it's going to open it up here. We can minimize this for now and minimize Photoshop, and we're going to want to copy the same splash that we were using for the iOS version. So simply just click and drag it over here, and similar to what we were doing on iOS, where you do Shift and Alt and you click and you stretch it until it's perfect, just like so. Press Enter, and then we'll be saving them. So we'll go ahead and save for web, and make sure that it is PNG. You have it loaded up here, so click on Save. We can see here that it's going to put us back into the folder that we were just working in. So easily we can select on Splash, Save, and we'll want to replace that file. You can see it saving here. And just like that, it was saved. So we can see here that it was replaced within Shop Hair Queen. We can go back one more, and let's do the same thing for this one. So simply click and drag. We can close out of this because we're done, and same thing as last time, we'll just click and drag it over, Shift and Alt and click to resize it, press Enter, hit export, save for web, save, and now we can notice here that it's putting us in the wrong folder because we've actually just replaced this one. So we can click this up one level button and then just go simply into where we're working at here and click on Save and Replace. Okay, and then we have one more to do, so this is the last splash that we have to replace. Oops. Let's go ahead and save. There we go. And replace. Cool. So we can go ahead and close these ones out. And now we'll want to update these icons here. So we'll want to be able to match the same icons that we're using in the iOS app. And this one has different application icons that are being used that were unique for Protalis. So we'll actually want to change these to the app icons that will be utilized for this app in particular. So I already have these saved in another application, so I'm going to come over here to the Survival Sets app, and I'm actually just going to copy the app icons that are already within this here, because these are the ones that we'll be utilizing within that. So I'll just Control C and copy these ones. Now if you wanted to customize these with Photoshop, you could always just click and drag it in here to Photoshop, and then go to the website Flat Icon, and from the website Flat Icon, you can browse through a whole bunch of different icons that maybe a client might want. For example, let's say you take this one here, you can add it just like so, and then it adds it over here, and you can simply download the collection. You'll want to download a PNG, and I believe it's 24, so you can free download. And there I have downloaded the PNG. I can always drag and drop it in here, and now I can replace and save it just as that one instead of having it be this one. But for this example, I am going to be utilizing this one, so there is no need to do that. So I'll go ahead and cancel that. But if you wanted to do a custom icon, I highly recommend Flat Icon. You'll be able to find an icon in no time. So let's continue on here with replacing these icons. Again, I'm going to copy them, come back in here to Applications, Android App Template, and here we are, Shop Hair Queen. And we'll go back to App, Source, Main, Res, Drawable, and here we have the different app icons that we are going to replace. And I'm actually going to take off the 5th tab because this is only going to be a 4-tab application, but I'll show you how it works with both 5 and 4. So I guess, yeah, for this example I'm going to still use that new icon just so we can see it in action. So I'll copy it there and then put this one here, minimize, export, web, save, and we're coming in here to Drawable, which is tab 5, save, replace. Cool. So we have that tab icon there now. Perfect. Let's come back to where we are working inside of Android Studio now. We are ready. So we have changed the splash screens, we've changed the icons. So now we're getting ready to actually put in the fundamental coding for the application and give it a test run. So here we see the loading of the project, Shop Hair Queen. Close the tip of the day. So for the apps, you'll want to come in here to where it says Java, come into this click down, and you'll want to select Super Web View. Main activity. So within main activity, we'll be able to see the menu icons right here. So let's come down here. So here we have from Java com shophairqueen.lm360 main activity on line 241 starts the different icons and the URLs that are being used and the names. So right here, our name is going to be for home, and then the next one is shop, and for this one it will be cart, And this last one here is for account. And just for kicks, we're going to do this one as custom. But at the end of the day, this one will be removed. It won't actually be utilized in the main version. But I just want to show you guys how to throw in a custom icon in case you were wanting to do that. So let's go ahead and get the URLs here for Shop Hair Queen. So this is the home page, so I'm going to copy it, Control C, and we'll go ahead and highlight it and paste it in there. Next we'll want to go to the shop page, and just like for the iOS version, typically for the shop page we're using collections, so C-O-L-L-E-C-T, and this is for those that are on Shopify websites. So we'll go ahead and copy the product shop page. And now we're going to go ahead and put in the cart. So this one's pretty simple. It's just cart. And same thing for account. We're going to replace this one with, so that way it says account. And that is just like so. And for this custom one, let's go ahead and put it to a custom product. Let's take this product here. And we'll utilize this as the custom tab within Shop Hair Queen. So now we've added the appropriate URLs and tab names. We'll want to come a little bit further down here so that way we can add some more information that's necessary. As we can see on line 726, so let's come down here. Oops. So 726, this is on page view finish, so this is for the custom CSS. So as you can see within here, there was some CSS for the footer and the smart banner. So there might have been a smart banner that was utilized on a previous app or build for this website and it had to be blocked. So I'm sure that's been taken off now, and just for this example, we don't actually need any custom CSS, but if you needed to have custom CSS, you would put the style name and then the attribute of that CSS there, separated by commas. So you would want to you would want to remember the way that this is actually laid out if you wanted to do custom CSS. So, but we don't need it for this example, so let's go ahead and simply delete. And we could also come in here and delete this. And we'll remove those apostrophes too. So yeah, if you wanted to put in the CSS there, you could. To utilize it, I would recommend going from the app template because it's already in there and you don't have to add it manually. Just as FYI, I would highly recommend that. Next, let's continue on here to, I believe, a little bit further down. Let's see. Okay, so on line 685, you're going to want to change the URL. So what this code here is used for, and this whole section actually is used for, so if any URLs that are contained within the website, within the page, that are formatted in a certain way, will actually open up the default app that they're supposed to open up. So for example, if it's .mp4, it'll open up your default movie player. If it's MP3, it'll open up your default music player. If it's a telephone, it'll open up the phone app. If it's mail to, it'll open up your email app. And if it does not end with your domain name, it'll open up in your default web browser app. So that way it takes it away from the application. It actually gives a very clean app feel to where if somebody wants to go on a different site or a different page or if, for example, they want to check out their Instagram or their Facebook, it'll actually open up the default apps required for viewing those sites or applications, and it just makes it feel more natural. So for this one, we're going to be putting in shophairqueen.com, and next we're going to find, let's see, for the user agent string. This one here is going to be needing to be replaced if it's not LM360 Android app. If you want to customize this one, you'll need to customize it there, but this is what stops the smart banner from being displayed within the mobile application for Android. So that one covers that. The next thing you'll want to do is come in here to Res, and from Res you'll want to go into Values, and in Values you'll want to click on Config. So you'll want to set up the default loading URL, so where you want the app to first load up the page for it. And this one is pretty easy. We want them to go straight to the home page of Shop Hair Queen. You know, we can have them set up to go to different pages, but in this example we'll have them go straight to the home page. And then there's some other features here too if you want to enable or disable those. For example, if you wanted to have like the cache, so cache I recommend on both iOS and Android apps just because they seem to work faster. But say you wanted to have pull to refresh, you could put true. Or if you wanted to have some of these other ones enabled, you could always do that too. For example, zoom, you can enable zoom. I don't really like enabling zoom because it just doesn't seem more of like a natural app feel. So the next thing we want to click on is here for the strings. So the things we're going to want to change are the app name. This is where we're going to want to put in Shop Hair Queen, because this will be utilized for pretty much throughout the entire app for the main display name, any push notifications coming into the app. This references all of that right there. So we have that, and we're going to get into the layout in just a second because there's some different padding that we change for when there's 4 menus or if there's 5 menus. So for right now we're pretty much ready to go ahead and see how this application looks. So to do this, we'll go ahead and select on Run, and we can select Run App, or you can come in here to where it says App and you can actually press on the play button. And if you don't have an actual virtual device, you can always create a new virtual device. But here I have a few different devices. I like to have both the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 10 because when you do screenshots for iOS, or I'm sorry, for the Google Play Store, you need to have both the tablet and the phone versions that they are required to have. So let's go ahead and view it in the Nexus 5. Okay, so we got the mobile phone pulled up here. Let's go ahead and wait for the app to get installed. We can see the builder, Gradle build is running right now. Alright, now it's installing the APK. And this is where that name was coming into effect, where it says allow Shop Hair Queen. So we can go ahead and allow, and allow. So awesome. This is the Shop Hair Queen mobile app. So we see it here like this on a device like the Nexus 5 SX, but what we have to keep in mind is that not on all devices will it look like this. So you're going to want to test it out on some other devices because sometimes the app icons may go over, or they may come all jumbled up in the middle here. So you want to make sure that you're doing it appropriately so that way you know, it's evenly displayed, and I like the way that it is here. Seems to look good. We can test out these links. So shop, you have that nice little loading icon there. We also see the custom icon here being populated. We have cart, account, go into the account and go back to cart, shopping cart, and here's a custom page. Boom, right there to the custom page that we had set up. So cool, really neat, really nice. So let's say, for example, though, you wanted to add some custom CSS. Maybe, you know, you wanted to remove the footer or something like that. You know, to do that again would be within the main activity section here. You know, if you type in CSS after doing Control F to search for it, you can see right there 732 is where you add the CSS functions for that. But we see the app here working good. Let's go ahead and remove that custom icon though, so we can finish this project on up. So to do that, if we wanted to add multiple more icons, we could do that as well too. Simply, if we want to add more, we would copy what's being the code that's here. So we'll copy it like so, from tabs content.add to the ending semicolon thing. Press enter to create a new line and simply paste them in. So here, you know, we're adding a couple more. So say we wanted custom 1 and custom 2. We could add them in like so. Now if we wanted to make it so that way these images are separate and different, you see here how it's tab 1, tab 2, 3, 4, 5. You can make this one tab 6, which would make the image go away because we don't have a tab 6 image within our supplied folder. If we come in here to app, source, main, res, drawable, we see here there is no tab 6 image being presented, so it cannot show it. So that's why with tab 5 we have the images being displayed there, and this is actually used for those images. So if you want to customize them, you know, you can go and do different images there if you like. Now if you wanted to see what this looks like, let's go ahead and press on play, because you can actually have, you know, a bunch of different tabs within the iOS version, or I'm sorry, within the Android version. And I'll show you how that actually works on the Android version. And so we see the different tabs coming in like so, and we're actually able to go back and forth. So if we even put in more tabs, we can actually slide and go across and actually view through those different tabs that we have added there. But for now, let's go ahead and remove those custom tabs and space these count tabs more appropriately. So to do that, let's go ahead and the same way as we add them, we remove them. We'll go ahead and highlight over them and simply delete, just like so. So now we have our 4 tabs, and like how I was telling you guys about the spacing, we'll come in here to where it says where is it? Okay, so within here, within the layout, we do tab text. So pull up something like this, just click on the text, it'll be a lot easier. And this wasn't the right one, so let's see if it's tab content. So yeah, within tab content we see padding left, padding right. This is where we're going to actually want to add some padding on the right and the left of those tab contents. So we do 15. So we increase it by about 5 dp per side. Let's go ahead and play it. Clicked on OK. You could see it's rebuilding itself. Perfect. So we can see the spacing on these icons has been a little bit better. You can actually space them out more, but I tend to like it like this because, like I said, on different devices it may come up a little bit differently, and some devices may fit better, some devices may not fit as good, but I like to see you know, that all devices it's working on. But at your own discretion, I mean, you can make these as far apart as you like. No big deal there. So that pretty much finishes that app. If we want to see the way that the icon looks, we can do that by looking at all of our applications. So yeah, so this is within the multitasking. You see the app that's running here. We see the app icon. We can close it. But if we wanted to see the apps here, we would actually see Shop Hair Queen right there. We can click on it and open it up, and here's the application running. Boom, Shop Hair Queen. And also too, let's verify it within our Google Firebase. So within Google Firebase, we go to Project Overview. Out of the 4 apps, we'll go ahead and select Shop Hair Queen. Oh, I guess I get this. So it only allows you to see the most 3 recent apps, so it's not that big of a deal. We'll just come in here to Settings, and we'll look at the Stream View for this application. Cool. So we do see that one user running on the 1.0 app version that we created, and we can see the other things that have been happening in the different, so Android version 9 and so on and so forth for this app that we were just using. So we can go ahead and close this since we are now officially done, and we can move on to creating the signed APK that will be utilized to uploading on the Google Play Store. So to do that, we'll go in here to build. First thing we're going to want to do is clean the project. We can always close out of these as well. And we can see the status of it right here. Alright, cool. So it finished cleaning. Next, you'll go to build, and you'll want to do generate signed APK. And it's going to ask you for a key store path. So if you don't have one, you can always create one. But since I already have one, I'm going to go ahead and choose existing. And from here, I'm going to select my key store. Let's see. Where is it? So we have Android SDK, key store, and this is the key store that I'm using. And we have the key store password. And then also, okay, so maybe the password is incorrect. Oh, that's right. Forgot my own key store password. So use existing key, okay, and then same thing, key password, and you'll want to click on next. And this is really important because for generating the signed APK, you want to make sure that it is in that appropriate file that you've been working with, and we see it here. Build type is for release, and you're going to want to do v1 and for v2. So we have jar signature and full APK signature. Click on finish, and what it's going to do now is it's going to build the whole project. It's going to bundle it up into an installable APK, and with that we'll be able to actually install it on an Android device, email it to different people, and even publish it to the Google Play Store. Alright, so we have generated the signed APK successfully. We can simply just locate it and it'll pull it up in our browser. it doesn't pull it up, like it's not really pulling it up there for me, what you can do is from your actual working folder here, like Shop Hair Queen, you can come in here to build, oh I'm sorry, not build, app, and right here we see app release APK. And this app release APK is the file that we're going to be working with. So let's go ahead and show you how it would work if you wanted to upload this APK to the Google Play Store. So I'm going to move it over to the desktop, and I'm actually going to be working with the Mac because I'm not logged in on my computer on the Windows side for Google Play with LM360. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to the Mac side now. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so now that I'm on the Mac side and we are here within the Google Play console. So once you've logged into the Google Play console, you'll see all of your available applications. It's important to note that you have different accounts that you have access to, and when you're uploading an application, make sure that you're uploading it to the appropriate account and not to the wrong account, because there's different access to these different accounts here that you can visually see. So for this example, we're going to be utilizing the Leverage Mobile 360 account. And to do this, we're going to go ahead and select on Create Application. We're going to give it a title, which is Shop Hair Queen. And we're going to go ahead and select on Create. And we can see that it's been created here. And the first thing that I like to do is input the app release. So this is what we just spent all of the work on doing. So we'll want to select on a production release. So we'll click on Manage. And within production, we'll select Create Release. And we're going to want to add the files that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and get that file now. Right here, so it's the app release APK. Move it to the desktop. So with the app release APK, simply drag and drop it to where it says drop your app bundles and APKs here. So we'll select those and upload them there. So we see here that there is an upload error, and it says target API level must be 25, or must be at least 26 to ensure built on the latest APIs. Okay, so that's not a problem. To do that, simply all that we need to do is go back to Android Studio. So let's come back in here to Android Studio, and within the Gradle script, or within the build.gradle module app, right here where it says target version 25, what we're going to do is actually change this to 26. And what we're going to do here is change the SDK version to 26, and this also to 26. And we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and sync. So what it says here is failed to find build tools revision 26.02. Install build tools and sync project. So let's go ahead and install those build tools and resync the project. Because the notification that we got here was for your app currently targets API level 26. So actually we don't need those SDK build tools, but either way we got them. Let's go ahead and run it. So it's currently syncing right now. Scanning files to the index, everything seems to be good. It's currently indexing. see its status right here. Alright, so we're all done. Let's go ahead and preview the application, make sure that everything is working appropriately with the layout and setup that we currently have. So that's what we're currently working with. Let's go ahead and, whoops. Let's get rid of that, so that way it's not open. Application is currently building, so once it finishes, let's test it out. There's one more thing. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that it was the target API that we needed to change. We actually see the application now right here loading just fine. Works just like it should. No problems whatsoever. Cool. So we can go ahead and close out of that. And now that this is going to be an updated version of the mobile application, what we need to do is change the version code to 2, and we're going to change this to 1.1, and we're going to go ahead and resync it. So we're going to sync it one more time. Currently have 2 processes running, and we just finished it up. Now we're going to want to go to build clean. So we're going to clean the project again, and then we're going to one more time we're going to send it off to be signed. So we're going to sign and build an APK. Okay, so finish cleaning. So now the next step is to generate signed APK. It's going to ask me for the password again. Click on next, make sure that both of these are checked, and select on finish. So it seems to be I inputted the wrong password, unfortunately. So let me go and retry this again, make sure that I'm doing it appropriately. You may want to put on remember passwords. Go ahead, finish. Let's hope I put the password in correctly, and boom, it seems like I put in the password correctly this time. I'm not sure why this locate never works. Local disk, applications, Android, Shop Pair Queen. We have the app, and then we have app release APK. Could trash that. And let's get this app release APK. So we're going to go ahead and try this again for uploading another file. Let's go ahead and drag and drop it. Or click on upload another file, drag and drop. Let this one upload. It's currently processing. And just like that, upload is success. So we have APK version 2. If we look into it, there's different things here. So API level is 15, target SDK 26, screen layout small, normal, large, and extra large. Native platforms none. Features here. So we have hardware location, Bluetooth, fake touch, and for the telephone. Required permissions, there's 34, localizations 112, supported devices 8200 devices. So this is the release name that we've created, 1.1, version code is 2, so we can put this to initial app release, and you might want to change this based on what is actually being done or being updated. So we can just go ahead and save it. And that took care of that. Next thing you want to do is a store listing where you want to give the app a description, a full description. Make sure that you take screenshots of the app and upload them here for both the phone and the tablet. That way this app is available for tablets and for mobile phones, because you need a screenshot for whatever devices that it's enabled for. High-res icon, this is going to be the Google Play Store icon that we saved to the desktop. You can go ahead and put that here. Feature graphic, there's a PSD file that you can utilize for that. And same thing with these screenshots, there's PSDs for the actual phone that you can throw in there and throw in some very catchy tidbits for the application to get people to download. You'll want to select a category. This is an application. The category for this application will be shopping, so let's look for shopping right here. Content rating, we'll do that in a second. Website, email, we can go ahead and save this draft. For now, you can just go ahead and put that, save it again. So we have content rating, continue. So you want to actually rate these apps too, so you'll put in your email address. And you'll want to select the type of mobile application that it is. So for this example, it's a content aggregator, consumer stores, commercial or streaming services. Violent material, no. Most of these you'll probably just end up selecting no because of what they sell. So just go ahead and go boom, boom, boom. I've done this a lot. So does this app allow users to purchase digital goods? More than likely it might. So go ahead and save the questionnaire, calculate the rating, apply it, and now you've gone through the content rating. The pricing and description, it's a free app, so make sure that it's free, and we want to make this available in all 143 countries, or you can actually select where it's available in, so you can make it unavailable everywhere and only available in, say for example, the United States, or where they're focusing on getting their sales. You know, is it primarily child directed? No. Contains ads. There are some ad content and ad related code snippets, so plus within the actual website there may or may not be ads, so you might want to answer this appropriately. For this one I'm just going to put yes, because I'm not entirely sure if there are ads on their users or on the e-commerce website, but if there's a, you can always put on there no. And then there's some other options here. and marketing opt-out, I don't check that. Content guidelines, okay, and save the draft. And now pricing and distribution has been done. So the last thing all you got to do is put in the short description, the full description, these screenshots, the icons there, and you can publish this application no problem. So that is it on how to create, upload, and publish a Android application. We went over a whole lot of stuff there, so be sure, if you have to rewatch it a few times, I completely understand. But yeah, once you get a couple of these done, they'll be really fast to do, and you can just knock a lot of these apps out. If you have any questions or need help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. More than willing and happy to assist in any way that I can.